Hey, welcome to Cup of the Crone. I am Audrey, I'm your host, and I am a crone, and this is my cup. Yeah, I'm doing water first and then coffee. So it is a nice 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm about to walk y'all through my new moon first of the month routine. Let's get into it. First, a couple announcements. If you have not hit up the blog, um, which is witchtalk713.wordpress.com, there is a new blog that dropped that covers snow magic, which is perfect as we're wrapping up winter and we're going through and it goes over a way to preserve snow, a way to incorporate snow into your craft, and it's a nice little piece and a little educational tidbit. But let's get into it. Okay, so this new moon today is in Pisces, and also it's on Wednesday, so that means Mercury. Pisces is very emotional and intuitive and compassionate, and Mercury, of course, has to do with intellect and 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 analyzing, and we'll be able to get into that here in a second. But I'm letting you preference this so you can know so when I mention it, y'all be able to understand in case you're not familiar with those correspondence. So every new moon and every first of the month, I have a list of things that I do to revive, revamp, and refocus my home and myself. And I'm about to walk you guys through that. Because a new moon, of course, means new beginnings. And new beginnings means setting new intentions and manifestations. So, let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that I do when I wake up on a new moon day is I do a mass cleaning session. And that means physically cleaning my house. You physically clean something, you'll be able to clean the energy that is around it. You want to be able, everything you do on a new moon will set the preference for the rest of the month. So if you want that promotion at the first of the month, then start studying and investing in the things that you need to learn this month and on this day to be able to get that promotion. If you want to focus more on self-love or self-care, make a self-love tea, make a self-love potion, make a self-love altar. See? This day sets the tone for until the next full moon or new moon. We'll get to a full moon later. So I mass clean my house. I go through and I wake up early, like I did today, and I mass clean my house. I usually do this, by the way. I usually am in prep for this for a couple of days ahead of time. Yesterday, I mass cleaned everything. I cleaned the laundry. I did laundry and things along those lines, in preference for today. So today, all I have to do is basically do maintenance housework. And that way, my house has a clean slate. And that means I have a clean slate. So the first thing I do at the beginning of every new moon day or every new moon is I cinnamon the doors. Now, you've probably seen this on TikTok. And there is this great girl that I follow that does skits of her and her future kid. And she is she's a witch. And So this is absolutely, so shout out to her if you ever see this. Hey, love you. And you probably, she made this popular on TikTok. So cinnamon represents love, prosperity, all those things that you, it's the kind of catch-all herb that brings all those good vibes, and also it smells amazing, into your home. So that's what I do. And you can do this a couple of different ways. Me, I just throw cinnamon on the door. For some people that I know, they actually do a cinnamon wash. They put a tea bag of, some people do pumpkin spice, some people just do like a reusable tea bag of cinnamon, let it soak overnight, and actually wash their doors. I live in El Paso, so it's really dusty here anyway, so no matter what you do, you're always going to deal with the dust. So it's whatever best suits you and your home and your practice. But that's what I do. I welcome in those intentions and those energies into my home from the beginning of the new moon. And the next thing that I do is I salt my entryways. Salt, of course, is a witch's best friend. Salt protects, it cleanses, it is a mass reset for all the vibes in your house. And you can do this, I do this in multiple different ways. I put salt on in my, I use salt water when it comes off my floors. I salt the entryways. I do a salt wash on all of my windowsills, because once again, I live in El Paso and the sand is real. And that's a good way for me to go ahead and set protection and cleansing in each of the entryways, because I also have a baby and he is working very, very hard on walking. So you kind of don't want just a line of salt like on the window seals like I used to do. So I have to get more creative with this. So that's the next thing that I do. And hi Gato. My cat. The next thing that I do is a prosperity floor wash and door wash. You want, for me, prosperity is a big thing that I want to. I don't want just to prosper physically. I want to prosper emotionally and mentally, and I want everyone that comes into my home is blessed with those vibes even before they come in, because I have a lot of people. So I do basil and I do mint, and I let that sit in a bucket overnight. And all the things that I do here is not very high maintenance, by the way. Gato, get out of my cricket paper. Cats, man. And I let that sit in a bucket overnight. Or if you're a prepping kind of a person, you can just have a jar and soak a tea bag, reusable tea bag overnight, or you can just let it soak free herb. Strain it over a strainer or a cheesecloth and put in your mop water and just mop away. I do the same thing with doors. Like, I let those herbs sit overnight. I take it and I wash my doors with it. So in every room, it hits those vibes. I also do a blessing for each room, specifically for that room. For the witch room, I bless it with spiritual growth and creativity. For the living room, I bless it with camaraderie and unity and love. For my bedroom, I did a peaceful rest, self-love, and something spicy. For my son's room, I bless it with peace, serenity, and a stable growth. All of these things that I do for each room. I haven't. Okay. She keeps wanting to jump in my lap, so I just beat to the punch. And then I set the crystals out specifically what I want for each room. So I can go ahead and magnify those energies that I want. For example, I do rose quartz in my son's room because I want him to feel loved. Yeah. Next, the one I swear this is the best thing that I love about being a witch is the art of divination. I do a tarot reading to see what's coming up this month. If there is something unexpected and crazy, or there's like a see the tower or something, I know I can plan for that. She's a little witchcraft though, I swear. She's a little magic hoe. Yeah, she just shows her mama. And the next thing that I do is I do a mass offering to all the gods that I work with. For example, Hades gets pomegranate liqueur. She's a sweet girl. Pomegranate liqueur. Freya and Scotty get peppermint schnapps that we get German peppermint schnapps, and it depends on each god. But going back to the divination, I like to know what's going to happen. I am a prepping kind of a person, so it's nice to know ahead of time. Right? I also do a self-love spell. Once again, it goes back to setting intentions, and especially in Pisces, it is about being compassionate and intuitive and emotional, and it's about being that towards yourself and to others. Because once you have hair on my nose, cat, and it's about being those to myself. So even if it's a rose infused like face mask, it's something that I can set those intentions with. I can go ahead and do that self-love spell, and I'll be able to pour into myself and be able to pour into others. Also, I journal my intentions and manifestations that I want for this month, and I set those goals. You know, I already start putting them out into the universe, and I go ahead and write it down in my witch journal. And it's so big right now because, especially for today, because Mercury is all about intellectual and it's all about planning. But with the new moon being in Pisces, today is a day to invest internally. It is a day to invest in your spirit, and that I tailor, and there are certain things that I tailor to each new moon. So if there is a new moon in Virgo, okay, that's going to be investing in my grounding. If there's a new moon in Scorpio, I'm investing in my shadow work. You can't get on my table. Just no. If there is a new moon in Taurus, okay, I'm going to set my monthly budget on this day. And those are all things that I'm going to do. You know, and I tailor to which day and which month, you know, it is. You are shedding today. We'll have to harvest some of this for some spells. Yeah, see, look. Good spell right there. Good offering for Freya. I also, and that's what I do during the day. my new moon session at night is all tailored to specific spell work that I want to happen during the month. Because new moons are about new beginnings. It is about the beginning of the cycle again. So go ahead and set those intentions for the month. Thank you guys for tuning in for Cup of the Crone. This is my cup. This is my cat, and I am your crone. But also, I would like to set remembrance yesterday, March 1st, what is in remembrance of all the victims of Salem, from the Salem witch trials. These women were not witches. These women did not practice. These women were intellects, and they did not fit into social norms. And they were women who did not align with the submissive woman ideals. And they used this witch hunt to stomp them out. The Salem witch trials was a persecution of women, not witches. So I would like everyone to sit there and you see this, remember those victims and those women that were murdered because they were different. Because they did not fit into societal norms. And remember, it's the blood in which soaked the grounds of Salem that gave strength for us to be able to do those things. Don't do that on camera. Cats. Good girl. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in, and you guys have a great new moon and a great Wednesday.